waves always roll and the wind never stops. This is our town, baby, you and me. It takes a little time, but soon you will see. We got clothes on the line, blowing in the breeze. The kids on the wharf, skipping rocks in the sea. The people are friendly and the children are free. Yeah, our little town is just heaven to me. This is our town, our little town. This is our town, our little town. One day it's up, the next day it's down. This is our town, our little town. Sound. Young boys driving their dad's car around. We got the prettiest girls walking around. Soon they'll be leaving this old town. We got so many leaving, yeah, chasing their dreams. Say there's nothing here, or so it seems. And they will miss it, someday they'll know. They'll want to return to the town they love so.
Good evening and welcome to this week in review. Tonight's stories include Music Night at the Southwest Senior Centre, Summer Story Hour program closing, Rec Centre Summer program closing. These stories was the BBS Playbill, Off the Rack and more coming up after this.
They bus instead of wagon. Go outside and play instead of watching TV and playing video games. We use shopping bags. And use to say
Good.
Turn off water when you're brushing your teeth. Take the one-time challenge.
Okay. The new song we have for the opening of this week in review was written and sung by Junior Strickland. The song is called Our Little Town and is on the Route 480 CD. Joe Kosser dropped by our office one day this summer and offered us the song Our Little Town for the opening of this week in review. We accepted. It was perfect for our needs. We would like to thank Junior and Joe of Route 480 for letting us use the song. There were many people involved in getting the pictures for the song. We extend a big thank you to Robbie Courtney for filming the footage of Virgil from Richard's Aids for us. The lady who put the clothes on the line the day we were filming. All the children who came to the wharf to throw rocks in the water. The gentleman on the government wharf for allowing us to film them as they chatted, the children on the playground, Roger Spencer Jr. and Philip Anderson, and all the young ladies for allowing us to film them as they go on their walk. Without your help, we would not have been able to get the shots we wanted to go along with the song. We hope you enjoy the new opening of this week in review. We have also been busy this week getting a new message update footage. This year we decided to go to the Fisherman's Wharf. We extend a sincere thank you to Liz Escott for letting us know the best times to come to the wharf, all the employees working at the wharf, all those who allowed us to film them as they baited up, and to all the fishermen for allowing us to come to their place of work and film them as they worked. We can't forget all the boaters who happened to come into the picture as we were filming. We also included these shots as part of our message update footage. Thank you all for allowing us the privilege of coming to watch you at work. This new message update will be ready early next week. We hope you enjoy it. On Tuesday of this week, the seniors at the Southwest Seniors Complex were treated to some great entertainment. This gentleman is Bill Green, originally from Francois. He is the son of the late Henry and Annie Green, also of Francois. Bill likes to sing and play the guitar, and for some time he has wanted to go to the seniors complex to play some music for them. He did just that on Tuesday of this week. Bill was joined by Roy LaFosse on the accordion and Owen Marsden on bass. The group started at 7 p.m. and played until 9 p.m. Most of the music selections were older songs that most of the seniors were familiar with. They also included some gospel music and an occasional Newfie jig. The seniors seemed to enjoy the music very much. Here is just a sample of the music that they played. We will show this in its entirety next Sunday after this week in review. On Wednesday of this week, the SWAS students held the closing for the Summer Story Hour program. There were 10 children registered for the Summer Story Hour program. However, only 3 came to the closing. The beautiful day outside may have had something to do with that. Carrie Lynn Ann, one of the SWAS workers, read a story to the 3 little girls. Nicole Skinner, Courtney Bowles, and Sarah Standing enjoyed it very much. There was also a Blue's Clues coloring sheet for them to do, as well as a craft for the day, which was a Blue's Clues idband. There were games planned, but due to the small group, they didn't complete this part of the story hour. Carrie Lynn and Ashley also had a lunch of wieners and fries and ice cream with sprinkles for the girls. There were only 3 girls present at the story hour, but they really enjoyed the event. especially the lunch. This week is the last week of work for Carrie Lynn and Ashley. Thanks, girls, for letting us come along to the Story Hour. Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
Buy the new energy efficient fluorescent light bulbs. They are cheaper to use and easy on the environment. Join an environmental group such as the Green Team to help do your part in helping the environment. Turn off lights when exiting a room.
Use a bike or walk instead of driving in a car. Plant trees. Take the one-time challenge.
On Thursday of this week, the Rec Center held their closing for their summer programs. The two Rec Center summer workers had the place decorated with a large banner and balloons for the closing party. There were 36 children registered for the Rec Center summer programs and 22 showed up for the closing party. When we arrived, the children were playing games. They played Colors, Mr. Wolf, and Tree Tag. Next, there was a presentation of certificate for those who were registered with the program. When the children signed up for the programs, they had to pay a fee. This fee was used to pay for the party. There was a prize draw of 7 gift certificates from Highway Diner. The winners were Melissa Compton, Brian Sims, Carrie Tucker, Joey Compton, Jonah Skinner, Brandon Day, and Dylan Tucker. All the others were awarded with pop and chips. For lunch, there was juice, pop, chips, cheesies, candy, cookies, and hot dogs. These children have really enjoyed their summer at the Rec Center, and the closing party was a nice touch. It would seem that vandals have been on the prowl again. During the early morning hours of Tuesday, individuals were responsible for spilling oil on the road near the Le Chateau restaurant. An anonymous call came into the RCMP office, and the officer on call went to check it out. However, by this time, those responsible were long gone. The RCMP were unable to check into this matter further because the person who called in didn't leave a name. The RCMP approached the town to clean up the spill. The town has the proper equipment to take care of such a problem. During the same night or early morning, most of the garbage cans between the residents of Belle Beau's and Jim Porter's were tipped over. If you have any information on either of these matters, please contact the RCMP office. All calls will be kept confidential. Judging for the town's beautification program went ahead on Thursday and Friday of this week. There are 3 judges for the beautification program: Sharon Strickland, Joan Melbourne, and Mildred Tucker. The judges did the judging on Thursday and Friday of this week. There were 6 entries this year. You will remember that last year the prizes were $300 for first prize, $200 for second, and $100 for the third place. With so many lovely flower gardens around town, it's surprising that more people didn't enter into the program. We took some shots of just a few gardens around town, and they are quite colorful and beautiful. We don't envy the judges their task of picking the winners. The winners will be announced on Community Channel 10 next week. Now over to Mayor Ann with the council report.
Good evening. And how have everybody been enjoying this wonderful summer weather that we've been experiencing this summer? It's just been fantastic, haven't it? Anyway, Burgeo Town Council, we got down to business again on August the 17th with our regular meeting for the month of August. We had 5 members in attendance. It wasn't a long meeting, but it was, I guess, I would call it a productive meeting. It went on for about 1 hour and 3/4. The first item up for discussion, it was the water treatment plant. Now, you haven't been getting many reports from the water treatment plant, but it's always a topic of discussion at every council meeting. And needless to say, you know, council is really upset and disturbed with the length of time that it's taking to get something tangible to report. And it was so much so that at our meeting, you know, we just looked at the situation, and I just give you a broad picture of it. This water treatment plant, the provincial government has $1.5 million approximately invested in this project. The federal government has $970,000 invested in this project. We, the municipal government, have $383,000 invested in this project, which comes to a total of $2,893,000. Now that's a lot of money. And it's a lot of money that a contractor and an engineering firm has gone off with, and the town has got nothing to show for. I suppose to use the word theft would be too strong a phrase, but it's not too far from that. And the part which amazes council is that those who got the most into it, which is the federal and the provincial government, is having the least to say or the least to do with it. You know, if you owed the government $50 taxes, they'd be after you. Well, here they are, helping finance, just as well to say, a $3 million loan, which someone has run off with, and they got nothing for it. And sometimes council gets the impression they couldn't care less. And you know, this comes right down. Everything we do, we copy to our MHA and to provincial affairs, and nothing seems to come back. So having given that, you know, and with just about time for a new council to be elected, we've decided that we're going to try to get the parties together, see if we can't get the MHA and the MP and the Minister of Municipal Affairs and our lawyer, and see if we can't get something, you know, so that the chain of what's happening will be carried on even when this council is gone. So that's the predicament we find ourselves in, and I just thought tonight I would just update you on it. And I still think something will eventually come there, but you know, if someone don't get out of their arse besides the town council and get this thing moving, it's going to take some time. I'm sure you've took notice to our playground. The town manager reported the work that's been completed, which we set out to do. I think it looks very good, and I think it's a playground which we as a town can be proud of. The water leak, that was the one that was, you know, we repaired in the area where the Henry used to be. That repair job was not successful, and we've been waiting to get more clamps to do the job properly. Anyway, that have arrived, so in the very near future now, you'll be notified on BBS that the water will be shut off in Burgeo. The hall of the town will be affected, and it'll probably be for a full day. And hopefully, that will take care of it. We were also informed that the sign which we had at the intersection of the Burgeo Road and the Trans-Canada Highway has been moved to the area of Barsway Park, or rather Barsway Brook. And for some of the councillors who have seen it and viewed it, they said it's a good location, a better location. So in my opinion now, if council can find it within themselves to really get a good sign, and replace the one that's there, then I would say the job will be complete. With regards to the Burgeo beautification, the judging is probably being completed as I speak to you now. Up till meeting time, there was only 6 people who had requested to have their property judged. I think more people can participate there because there's some lovely property here in this town. As I walk around and look at it, you know, I know that there's more than 6 who could have applied to have their property judged. It doesn't cost anything, and really, you know, it would have been just a little something to get in there. But anyway, the judging, I do think, will be done by the time you get this broadcast. And I must say that I don't know how many of you get out early in the morning and look at our town, but it's just beautiful. It just looks beautiful. And for many of you who've taken the time to climb Maint Eel early in the morning and view it, and for those of you real enthusiasts who climb Richard's Head and look at it, I can tell you that that Burgeo can really compete when it comes to rugged, beautiful scenery. I mentioned some time ago about the Community Achievement Program that the government has out, another name I would say for Make Work Project. However, some people will not be qualifying for EI this year and so on. So with that in mind, the town will be applying for certain projects. One which we've talked about is a proper cleanup of the garbage dump and repairs to the fence and some brush cutting in the general area of the garbage dump, and a little improvement on our garbage dump. Another one we've got to apply for would be around the playground, the outside of the playground. You got a lot of this old buckwheat and so on, in different areas of the town, and you know the way that stuff grows, it can take right over. So the town have come up with a few projects. Another one is the road to our water dam. It's growing right over. You know, you've got difficulty going up without scratching your vehicle up now. So these are projects we're applying for. It's possible none of them will be approved, but at the same time, we've applied for them anyway. As you all know, tenders were called for some solar equipment which the town had and was used at the kiosks. The successful tender for this was Derek Warren from Halifax. He submitted a tender of $1,235, and that was the successful tender. Subject which came up was sort of, you know, what seems to have really increased in this town this year is this habit to go around screeching tires and so on. In fact, you know, some people are practically drag racing on our streets. We've had oil poured on the street, caught on fire, and so on. That's not good things. You know, I'm sorry to see Burgeo go that way, and it's very stupid, and someone is going to get killed. That's the ins and outs of that. But anyway, given that, it was agreed that the RCMP would be contacted. Council have had quite a few complaints, plus councillors have taken notice as well, and so therefore we're sending a letter to the RCMP requesting that they try step up their patrols and do something about this. Another thing which is drawing quite a few complaints. Several of the councillors have had some, and I've had some, you know, and that is noise. You know, partying, loud music going on all hours of the night, and big bonfires and whoop-de-doos outside, and you know, it got council to the point where we wonders whether the town is going to have to bring in some what they call noise control regulations. However, before taking that step, the council have agreed that what we should do first is contact some towns that have already got these noise control regulations and see if the regulations are working, if they're easily enforced, and what the results is. And hopefully that we don't have to do this, but you know, you can only put up with so much. We had a letter from two people who spent the winter with us this year on their sailing yacht, Caroline and Hid Sealing. And it was quite a complimentary letter to council, and that was presented, and therefore I would like to pass it on to you. It's dated July 31st, 2005. Dear Mayor Han and Town Council members, we would like to thank you and the town of Burgeo for making our visit in this wonderful town such a memorable and pleasant time. Spending a winter in Newfoundland was an adventure for us, made possible only by the helpful people we encountered whenever we turned around. Whether it was a broken dock line in the middle of the night or a ride to the store, someone was always ready to give us a welcome hand. Though the winter was cold, we were warmed by our reception air. We have made many friends here and hope that our departure will mark the beginning of only a short time away from Newfoundland. In all our travels from the Caribbean north, Newfoundland stands out as the most beautiful and friendly of our destinations, and we are determined to return for a longer visit to Burgeo in the future. We are convinced that were the rest of the world populated with Newfoundlanders such as we have met here, the global problems would be solved. Thank you, Aidan Carlin of the sailing yacht Moon Shadow. So, you know, it's good to get a little compliment like that every now and then. And so therefore, it's not only a few of us think that we've got a wonderful town, some of the visitors think we've got a wonderful town as well. And of course, that is only brought out and confirmed by our citizens. We had invoices in the amount of $24,770.75, and that was approved for payment. Now, I'd like to give you one more reminder that this council has only 2 more meetings, and nomination day for council is from August the 30th to September the 6th. Saturday, Sunday, and Labor Day, of course, that's not included. So you've got 5 days to come to the council office and get yourself nominated for council. You know, don't seem to be much interest. And you know, certainly if we've got people who can run our business community, run our schools, our hospitals, our churches, our fishery, the list goes on, we've got people to run. Well, certainly, probably the most important thing that we have in our town is our municipal government. And we've all got an invested interest in it because, you know, if you want to try to keep the taxes down, and you want to see your town grow, this is the place to be. So once again, I sincerely encourage you to go to the town office and get yourself registered. You know, you might look at it and say, oh, it's a very complicated thing and so on and so forth. That's not true. You've got a lot of help in municipal government. You've got good trained staff to guide you, advise you. There's courses once you become a councillor, which will give you a breakdown on municipal government and the way it operates. So, you know, I really would like to encourage you to step up to the plate, get yourself nominated, and let's have a municipal election on September the 27th. And we can't have that unless we have nominations, more than 7, during nomination period, which is August the 30th to September the 6th. And that's it from council. Good evening.
Stay with us for Off the Rack and the BBS Playbill, all after this.
If you don't feel the hot rays of the sun, can you still get burnt? Yes, you can. A sunburn is caused by ultraviolet rays that can't be seen or felt, so don't be fooled by a cloudy day.
The ultraviolet rays are the rays that are given off by the sun, and there's UVA rays and UVB rays that we're all most familiar with. Both UVA and UVB can cause premature wrinkling of the skin, they cause sunburns, and these are what most sunscreens have ingredients to protect against. And it's important that when you choose a sunscreen that it blocks both UVA and UVB rays.
Remember these tips before going out in the sun. Check the UV index. Wear a hat, UV protective glasses, and clothing. Apply sunscreen regularly. Limit your time in the sun between 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And whenever possible, seek shade.
Off the rack. This week as we scanned our tape rack, we came across a tape of when summer workers were ordered to do some work at the Stag Lake Camp. Let's look back to August the 7th, 1994.
6 students, 3 from Burgeo and 3 from Ramya, have been working in the Stag Lake area under the Challenge 94 program for the last 6 weeks. These students have built a gravel path from the road to Stag Lake, which makes access to and from the camp a lot easier. They also constructed 2 bridges on the trail, as well as making signs to go on the trail and the building. These students also installed 2 flush toilets in the washrooms adjacent to the building. During our visit, we had an opportunity to take a look around. This is the kitchen or the main room of the camp.
BBS Playbill. Next Sunday at 6:30 p.m. we will have the open air service from the First Pentecostal Church from Cornerbrook. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. Next week's program will be followed by entertainment from the Southwest Senior Center. For This Week in Review, I'm Marie Rose. Good night and God bless.